Oh, hello, hello. Third day with the Bard. No, I haven't died. I've been walking kangaroos here in the outback. Well, I tried to ride a couple of them, but they're little. You just can't ride a little kangaroo. I'm telling you that right now. Anyway, I want to get a subject to you here, and here it is. I'm going to tell you a little quick story, and then I'm going to tie my subject in, then I'm going to fall over. I'm telling you all these things because I can't remember shit. I had a friend. His name was Al Petrich, and he was a geek, but he was 18 when I was 15, and we were in the same Ojai ward together. He went on a mission, became assistant to the president in the Philippines, Dr. Bill Jackson, who was my bishop when I was in Ojai, California, and I used to be a Mormon. Anyway, Al was cool to me because I was cool and I was good looking and he was a geek, so I could, rein in the girls and he could tag along, and he did, believe me, he did. So he used to have some really neat cars. God, he had Corvettes and he had MG midgets, and oh my God, it went on, and I loved driving, and in California he was my friend. Because I couldn't drive at 15 without an adult who was 18, and that was the rule. It didn't have to be a parent, it could just be another stupid kid, which it was. So I got to drive his cool cars. Well, one night we were over at what we called MIA, Mutual Improvement Association, and you can see that was not an inspired program. It did not mutually improve me in any way. It made me worse. So anyway, Anna, just water. Just water. Anyway, I said to Al that night, we were, I forget, dancing or being with the girls or whatever, and I said, hey, is it okay if I borrow your Corvette? Now, this was not a shitty Corvette. Just in California, they're nice cars in California. So, yeah, just be careful. I said, okay. So I drove from Ojai to Ventura, California, about 15, 20 minutes. And I was coming up this really steep grade in Ventura, and a bunch of wild kids came around the corner in a car and hit me. Now, they hit me just behind the door of the driver's side, so I guess that's a good thing. But the entire left quarter section was gone. Now, remember, this car is paper mache. This car is fiberglass. It's not the new, the artificial stuff they've got now, which is, I think, 20 times stronger than steel. This was 2 times stronger than paper mache in those days. Well, I got out and I looked, which I didn't want to do, because I knew it was going to be as bad as my eyes and my brain thought it was going to be, and it was. The whole quarter section was all over the intersection. There wasn't a piece bigger than this, and I'm like, no reason to pick up any goddamn pieces. What are you going to do with 10,000 pieces of a Corvette? Well, anyway, I'm thinking now all the way back to the chapel what I'm going to say to my friend. When I contemplated all kinds of things, I was going to throw myself on the mercy of the hood. Hood in those days, kids, meant the hood of the car, not the neighborhood, okay? And I thought about telling him that I blacked out. I knew that was a lie. He knew it was a lie. And so I drove the car into the parking lot, but I put the good side of the car towards the chapel. So everybody looked at the car. It looked normal. So I go in and out and go, how's it go? It went good. It was fun to drive. I really appreciate you letting me drive it. And he said, well, did everything go okay? Well, there's some good news and some bad news. Jesus. He sits down. Did you kill somebody? I said, no, it's not that bad. And he says, well, how bad is it? And I said, well, it's bad. Well, I don't see anything. What's the deal? And I said, well, come follow me. Do you remember the Mormon song? Come follow me, the Savior said. It didn't impress him. So I walk out there, and we walk around the other side of the car, and he goes, Jesus Christ, holy shit, God damn it. And this was a guy who was a missionary. That's the way he always spoke, but he was more upset this time. Anyway, He looks at it and said, well, what happened? I said, well, I came up to a stop sign and kids came around the corner on a right-hand turn and took off the quarter section. He says, well, did you pick it up? I go, well, Al, there's some good news there and some bad news. I did pick up a few pieces, but they weren't much bigger than $1. Oh, I see. So we went to State Farm Insurance, and we didn't know if the car was covered or not. But anyway, that's another story. Now, the reason I tell you that story, and it's the second time in a video, I've told it out of 2,000 videos, is you don't always see what you get. Now, you guys are all old enough to know you don't buy a car without driving it. You don't buy a house without walking through the bedrooms and looking out the windows, and sometimes you'll call a contractor to come and do a home inspection and test the heater and the toilets and all that, you know. You just don't spend that kind of money and that kind of time buying shit. It's way too expensive to sue and try to get out of a real estate deal that you didn't check out and use due diligence. Now, over the years, I've found what due diligence is, and it has very little to do with Mormonism. I'm going to tell you that right now. Mormonism, there's no due diligence. You don't study. You don't read anything. You just go, oh, you're pressuring me. Okay, I'll get in the water. Okay, the missionaries are happy and say you're doing the right thing. Well, you don't do due diligence when you join the Mormon church. Otherwise, you wouldn't be a member. So here's my point. Okay? Now, when I married my first wife, and you know I've been married 6 times now, she's a little farm girl from Centerville, or Centerfield, out Utah, the middle of nowhere. And her dad was a dairy farmer, and Janice was a nice person. There's nothing wrong with Janice. But for me, all I did was dance with the girl. Maybe I kissed her a couple times, and we got married. Well, now that's like a used car, or even a new car. I've driven a couple of new cars that I said, this is a piece of shit. I don't want this. The horsepower is bad. It shifts wrong, and I'm too fat for it. You know, there's been a lot of times I've driven new cars. Well, when you buy a wife, I'm senile, so knock it off. When you buy a wife, you really have to check her out, you know. How fast can she run? Can you catch her around the bed? Is she obedient? Back in the old days, the Mormon temple ceremony, the endowment, she would raise her right hand to the square and promise before God, angels, and these witnesses at this altar that she would obey her husband. I like that endowment. Obey me. So anyway, I never checked out whether she enjoyed, you know, running or cars or travel or things that I enjoyed doing. I soon found out she didn't. I took her to New York City, and we went up the Empire State Building elevator. There were like 30 people in there, and she's facing backward, not the door. And I said, honey, in elevators, she'd never seen one. We're in Utah, I'd never seen an elevator. You face forward. Oh. Now, I'm embarrassed, but if I'd left her there and not said anything, I would have had to get out of the car and pretend I didn't know her. Because all the other people go, well, she got eyes in the back of her head? No, I don't think so. Well, Janice was a nice person, but she was boring as hell. Never went anyplace, never did anything. You know, when I danced with her, it was like dancing with my sister. And so, you know, our sex life, she used to run around with a rag. I said, honey, do you want to have sex? I'll get the rag. I didn't know that. I didn't know she was going to be the rag lady. But she was. She was going to clean up before anything happened, you know. So anyway, that's the way she saw sexuality. It was nasty, and it needed to be cleaned up all the time. Well, you know, every time I came in the house and I saw the the face cloth, I go, well, she may be in the mood, I don't know. She was pretty much always in the mood. I didn't have any, you know, rejection with Janice at all. But she was boring. I was a kid from California. I took her to California. She said, well, why does why does the big lake waves come in? Why do you have waves on your lake? There's the Pacific Ocean. Oh, okay. So, just stuff like that. Well, anyway, I should have done due diligence there, and I didn't. I didn't. So then I marry my second wife, and I did due diligence with Janet. Janet was hot, and I've had her since 7th grade. And I knew Janet. I knew her parents. I knew her sister, her crazy brother. I knew, pretty much everything about Janet except her vagina. And that was a pleasant surprise after I married her. That was a pleasant surprise. With Janice, it wasn't a pleasant surprise. I go, well, it's a vagina, it'll just have to do. It's kind of like buying a car, and before I bought my turbocharged car, I'd drive the others and go, well, it ain't that fast down the freeway, but it'll have to do. And I would drive it and hate it every day. Now, I got lucky with Janet. Gosh, she was hot. Damn, that's that little girl. She set me on fire every damn day I looked at her. I couldn't look at her without wanting her on her back. And she loved that. She just loved it. And we had a wonderful, wonderful marriage and successful relationship. I'm trying to think. Oh, we got divorced because she didn't like the hard work of 5 kids. So she abandoned me and took the 5 kids. Does that make sense? I don't know. But anyway, I did do due diligence there, and that was a good 9-year divorce. It was a good 9-year marriage. This dementia. I need to speak into the mic. Where's the camera? God, I'm getting worse every day. Yesterday I drove on the wrong side of a 2-lane highway. I thought it was 2 lanes each direction. And the guy sitting beside me goes, Bard, get in the right lane. Oh, okay. So I moved to the camera. Hey, things happen when you're old. So anyway, now I go to, I can't even remember, Carolyn, I guess. And there was no due diligence there. She was cute. She was short, petite. I married her. I didn't know she had bipolar disorder. I didn't know she was a prostitute. I didn't like sex with her. The girl was a smelly girl. I didn't like the smell of the girl, and I didn't like to have sex with her because, I haven't been with too many prostitutes. So anyway, I didn't like that kind of experience with a girl, and she was crazy as a loon, and that went down the road. And I didn't do due diligence, and I didn't get anything I wanted. So then I went to Sandra, the master of deceit. She told me she was multiple personality disordered. She had no fucking personality. You can't have multiple if you don't have one. I'm telling you that now as a psychiatrist here, psychologist, well, at least a high school graduate. So anyway, Sandra was terrible. She was a terrible wife. She was a cutter. And when I came in the bathroom one day, she's standing there in the shower, just blood everywhere, and she'd cut her arms and her legs and whatever, and we had Jenny, baby in those days, and I told her, I said, you cut in front of this baby ever, it will be divorce city. Well, it went on, and she was used to accusing men of all kinds of atrocities, and when I did due diligence, it wasn't true. None of it. She, her father molested her, her first job, her second job, all the teachers at the school, the principal. I did some due diligence, and it wasn't true. So, we got divorced. Well, now I have Mercy, and I knew her parents. I knew them on the phone from the Philippines. I talked to her father and asked for her hand. I went over there. Very nice family. They're going to be here in a week or two. And the mother and the father and Mercy and her friends and her school and where she went to church, and I did my due diligence there, and it's the best marriage I've ever had out of 6. I don't remember if I mentioned all 6, but They all kind of run together over the years, if you know what I mean. So here's what I'm going to say, and I'm saying it in my old age. It's a privilege to be old because you can say shit that young people, they'll lose their jobs and their wife and their whatever over. I would never again marry a girl that I had not had sex with. Probably several times. Because the first couple of times is like two frying fish in a frying pan. This is sex with people that are virgins. It's worse than that. So anyway, once you get it down a little bit and you can move like one person, and you can orgasm together, and you like what she likes and whatever. Now I wouldn't have said that until today. Till today, I got older. I got wiser. I was thinking of these girls that have what they call the Bertha on them, from the head to the toe, the Islam girls. How do you buy that car? You can take that mask off and it's Frankenstein. Now, not every girl or man, this is both genders, by gender, have 100% quality traits. Your wife may have, like, is it Obama? He has the ears, but one is lower than the other one. Well, can you put up with that? In a high wind? I don't know. If you live in Texas, you get high winds, it may blow away. But anyway, not one person is going to be perfect. Janet was. Had those hazel green eyes and brown hair. It cascaded, and she cut it so it would curl and curl all the way to the barred territory. Not in the same way with breasts. If you're really a breast man, and you find out that the girl you took to the temple and married for eternity has no boobs. It's all a padded bra. What do you do there? Sue her for no boobs? Go to the judge and say, jury, look, she had no boobs. But when we took the picture, she had boobs. I loved her then, now I don't love her. Now, I'm talking principle. A lot of times you'll have a fiance, even male or female. It's worse if it's a male. I'm going to work, and you marry their ass. They lay in bed, and they do scrapbooks, and they're on their phone with the girlfriends, or, he doesn't have a job. He's fired from everything he touches. He doesn't want to go out and ask anybody for a job, and, his personality, when he was dating you, you're skiing, and you're outdoors, and you've got friends at school and everything. Suddenly you marry him, and the son of a bitch is a hermit. You didn't know that. Are you supposed to put up with that after you marry him? Most of you are going to say yes. Okay, what about a wooden leg? You marry this girl, and she seems perfectly normal, everything's okay, and she never disclosed to you that she had a wooden leg. I don't know if I'd stay married to. I don't think it would be because she didn't have the leg. It would be because she lied. That was a material misrepresentation. We call it in the law. Well, all right. Same way with the disease. You marry a girl, and then she tells you 3 weeks later she has cerebral palsy, or she has Parkinson's disease, or she has cancer of the brain. If those things come over time, you and I both know that you would stay with a person like that. You would certainly have an affair. You would. I wouldn't. I'm moral. But anyway, these material facts are important to nurture that relationship. The food, do you like both food? Mercy and I love Mexican, and I love fries and a hamburger, and anyway, we do eat pretty much the same food. We love to go to the same movies. We saw that movie the other day, Spy, with the fat lady in it. Funny shit. Funny. I don't really go to movies. I have everything here. God, I've got Netflix and On Demand and No Demand. And anyway, angels appearing. Angels, move over. I want to see the last part there. Criminal Minds. Anyway, now let's come down to the nitty gritty, if you know what I mean. You may have kissed this person. You may have danced with them. You may have slept with them platonically. You probably traveled together, and you seem like a pretty good match and a pretty good pair. But you never saw her naked. Now, and she's never seen you naked. Now, it could be that you're Pee Wee Herman, and you're not telling her that until you marry. And then she looks and goes, holy shit, I gotta have affairs with black men. That ain't gonna do shit right there. Well, was it right to hold that material fact? Because that, I'm gonna tell you right now, between 18, right at about maybe 35, 38, sex is probably 70% of a relationship. Now, you may not agree with me, but I'm right. It's about 70% of a relationship, and then it dies off each 5 or 10 years, each decade over, until, sex is only 10% of a relationship. You get into your 70s. But anyway, she has a wooden leg, and you have no penis. And you're both 20 years old. Now, no penis when you're 70 is an expectation. Okay, I don't know where they go. I don't know if there's a celestial kingdom for penises. I'm sure I'm there, and I'm on the throne. Anyway, how do you enter a relationship for eternity, according to the Mormons, when you haven't seen or tried her vagina, or tried to orgasm with her and find out, are you really compatible? Why do you think there's a 50% divorce rate in the United States? Because we don't do any due diligence. We assume she's going to be fabulous. And, you get her down on her back and suddenly, ow, don't do that, don't do anything. Say, whoa, I have a license for this. Oh, you're raping me, I said, well, okay. I'm not going to rape you. I'm going to go out and get a prostitute. What do you do? What do you do? You don't know, and the same way with women, you don't know he's so gentle and sweet and kind, and on your wedding night, you feel like you've been gangbanged, and you've been screaming and yelling, and you can't even walk. You hurt so bad. You didn't know that he was going to be that way. And you didn't know he was going to drink himself to death. He was holding out, he was in AA for 200 years, and the last 3 months he wasn't, so he could marry you. Now you're trapped. And the same way, if you get pregnant with his baby, you're hooked together for eternity. For eternity. I don't care what a divorce paper says. You have children. You are married to that person forever. Now, here's what I'm saying. If we are being irresponsible morally, and now I'm an atheist, now I'm not a Mormon anymore. Praise the Lord. Anyway, oh God, Pele Ale. As soon as I put my hands up, I want to go, oh God, hear the words of my mouth. Anyway, if you're just kissing somebody, and you're hugging them, and you're, having contact, being an old dance teacher, I can look out, I've told you this once before, I can look out on the floor and tell you if the partners that are dancing together have had sex together. They move totally differently than other couples who are just dancing and they haven't had sex, even on a ballroom dance team or professional dancers. I can see it 100 miles away. And when I was younger too, I could take a girl in my arms and start to kiss her, and oh my God, immediately I knew, would this girl really do well in bed with me? And I took Jackie to Provo Lake once. You're not going to believe this. I don't care what you believe. I only speak the truth. Anyway, I took Jackie to Provo Lake. We were sitting there in the car, and I'm making out with her, and she's starting to breathe hard, and she's starting to get hot and hot and hot. And I was a virgin till I was married, and I didn't marry Jackie. So, I wanted to slow down a little bit, and I didn't want her screaming with an orgasm at Provo Lake where every BYU student is going to hear. So, I told her, we need to slow down, and she said, no, we ain't going to slow down. And she climbed on me like a monkey. And I'm going, Jackie, no, we're not going to do this. And, you know, she is crazy. I mean, she's going at it like, you know, hump the monkey. So I reach across. She's in the the passenger seat. I reach across to the door, and I push the doorknob open and shove her out of the car. Now she's out there, you know, flashing and flailing, and, you know, I didn't want to see everything, so I just shut the door. Funny story, but she got back in, and she and I never dated again. We never dated again, and going home, there wasn't much conversation. There you go. You don't know if this person is going to fit a lifetime. Not 20 years, not 30, not 50, maybe 70 or 80 years, a lifetime of sexuality. Now, I'm going to tell you something I've never said on any video, and it may be the end of the video show. All of us have certain favorite things about other people. We like your sense of humor. Jeannie liked bald men. Hey, I was right in front of the line. I was over at the dance. She saw me from across the room, came over, tried to hump me. No. So anyway, there are certain things about each human being. Now, with me, the eyes, the beautiful eyes, and the teeth, and the lips. Janet, I just can't tell you how beautiful she was to me. Now, she was beautiful to other people too, according to other people, but she's just striking. Now, Jeannie had huge boobs. I hated that. Like a boxing ring, you know? And when I got my face buried in there, I couldn't breathe. You know, I had to have an oxygen mask to have sex with this girl. And I like little boobs. Other men like different. You know, I like girls that are all right at 5'3", 5'5", right in there. Other men like a girl at 4'11". Some men like girls at 6'5". When I was teaching at Arthur Murray Dance Studio down in Salt Lake City, I had a young girl, 18 or 19, come in, and she wanted lessons, and the boss said to me, go train Jenny. And okay, so she comes out, and she's like 6'7", and I'm like 5'11" and a half, and so I take her in my arms, and her boobs fit right in my mouth and my eyes perfectly. I said, Jenny, this teaching session is for free, and so is every other one for free. So we all have favorite characteristics about human beings. Some really like people that are athletic, ski and bungee cord yourselves, and, you know, tie yourselves up, S&M. There's a lot of things that way that are different. Now, the eyes, the teeth, and the lips, for me, and the hair. I love long hair. Short hair, you know, you can take that in the military as far as I'm concerned. Then, you know, reasonable boobs. I mean, huge, no, I ain't interested. The bar's going to pass. And, you know, maybe a cute little figure. Mercy's like 98 and 105 different times. And she has a very cute little figure. Well, I like that. And then, what I really like is what's between the girl's legs. Now, let me tell you, from the bar's experience, if you've seen one, you ain't seen them all. Every girl is different. And I mean in 1,000 different ways. Her personality, her sense of humor, how she likes to be touched, where she wants to be touched, the shape of her vagina on the inside, whether your penis is going to be uncomfortable there or comfortable there, how you move, how she moves. That is a multitude of flexibility there that is so important in a marriage. And if you don't do due diligence, you're going to get screwed. Maybe a bad screw. I don't know. But I've found with all of my wives that the look of her vagina and the way she moved and the way she orgasmed and the way she responded to me, that was a very big part of the marriage. Very big part of the marriage. Now, I have an associate. I don't think I've ever met him. He's a plastic surgeon. I've got a video on this. Go back. I got a video on this. You can see that. The Bard don't lie. And his plastic surgery specialty was shaping those inside lips of a woman's vagina. Now, if you get married, and you're married in the temple and everything, and you're having your honeymoon, and suddenly, you walk into the room and your wife is naked there, and it looks like she has a pair of elephant ears between her legs, that could be shocking. That could be shocking. And they don't get smaller when you have sex. If they're dragging on the floor, you didn't do due diligence. Now, some guys like that. Some guys, hey, move those elephant ears. Hey, that's the couple's privilege. And you've got to match with a person that matches with your personality, your sense of humor, your finances, your spirituality, and certainly your sexuality. And men are much more particular on the beauty of a woman than women are on men. Most women can take a really ugly guy and marry him 6 times. And the sexuality, a lot of times the women don't put a high rating on sexuality in a relationship. Many of them will go through a relationship with no orgasms at all. And, the Bard says, if I'm having fun, you're going to have fun too. I'm a 50-50 man, if you know what I mean. Young boys, they have no idea. 20, 30 years old, they have no idea, where a clit is. And if they did, they wouldn't, know what to do. Other than, look, that's weird. Anyway, I'm saying, as an old man, if I had to live it over again, number one, I wouldn't be a Mormon. I wouldn't have any illegitimate kids, and I don't, that I know of. When the phone rings and the door knocks, the Bard tightens down. But anyway, if we're not having illegitimate kids and causing poverty and heartache, and if we're not using sex as a weapon and as a tool, women use that more than men do. But it shouldn't be. Sex should be mutual and pleasurable for both people. So, if you're, I'm going to say 17, my little girl's coming up on 17. If you're 17 and above, your vagina's been there for a while, your penis has been there, you certainly know a little bit about masturbation. You need sex like every human being needs sex, whether you're 100 years old or, a baby. I've seen those babies reach down to their sex organs when I ran daycare centers. And, there is, from birth to the end of life, sexuality is part of human development and behavior. So, I'm going to say I avoid the elephant ears with a genie. It was a baby elephant. It wasn't the big mama. But anyway, I divorced her, and I didn't like the 2x4 sometimes that I had to strap on my butt crossways so I wouldn't fall in some vaginas that I married. But, that's like Carlsbad Caverns. After you've had 4 or 5 kids, you can stick your own head up there. So, anyway, I'm going on too much. Do due diligence. You're going to join something, you're going to buy something, you're going to enter into a lifetime relationship, friendship, buy a house that you may die in. God damn, look at the pipes. Put your head in the toilet. Make sure it flushes right. Go up on the air conditioner and put your hands in the fan. Get your hands off, it's working. It's working fine. So anyway, being a Mormon, they don't do due diligence. That's how you get them into the church, is you just talk and tell them how beautiful it's going to be. Once they get in there, it's like having their weenie in a fan. So anyway, I'm going to say, Pele Eo, God hear the words of my mouth 3 times, the true order of prayer, and I don't want the penalties of cutting my throat. I don't want the penalties of having my heart chopped out or my gut spilled onto the ground. And personally, I'm glad Boy K. Packer is dead. I think that that's been an albatross around the neck of the Mormon Church for 100 years. I remember, I think it was Bruce R. McConkie was asked when Boy K. Packer would get on the Little Factory and masturbating. I don't know if the girls had little factories. Maybe there was a girl factory like Twix, a left and a right factory. I don't know. But anyway, he just harped on that. I think he was probably gay, and I think he has some sexual problems. If every conversation with a person is the same, they probably have problems with the subject matter. So anyway, I'm glad that he's dead. I'm glad the little factory's dead. It used to make me feel guilty when I was little. Not anymore, now that he's gone. He might be up there with binoculars, marking down 7, 8, 9. Okay, next day, 8, 15. Anyway, I'm glad he's gone. And I know that they're going to pick two new apostles. I'm sure both of them are going to be black and from Alabama. There's no nepotism. There is no nepotism in the Mormon Church. So anyway, that's exciting, and I'm glad to see that come down the same way. So I'm going to give you now for free. The Mormons have to pay 10% for this, okay? It is the name of the second token of the Melchizedek priesthood, the patriarchal grip or sure sign of the nail. It goes like this: health in the navel, marrow in the bones, strength in the loins and the sinews. Power in the priesthood be upon me and upon my posterity, through all generations of time and throughout all eternity. And what is that? The name of the second token of the Melchizedek priesthood, the patriarchal grip or sure sign of the nail. So, this bard is telling you to verify. It's like a nuclear treaty. It has to be verifiable when you get married. You better like her vagina and the way it works, and you better, women better like the way he treats you and touches you, or you're going to hate to go to bed every night the rest of your life. So anyway, I got to get back to my kangaroos. This bard's gone.